All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the coin. Do you know what? This week has been quite interesting. I've been able to gauge on a few individuals that we are linked with, or not necessarily always linked, or who we admire, who we wish we could be linked with. It's given me an opportunity to learn a lot more on other teams and other players outside of Chelsea Football Club. Now, one that I really want to talk to you guys about, ladies and gentlemen, is Xabi Alonso. I just finished watching Bayer Leverkusen's match. Once again, for the first time, I've probably watched Bayer Leverkusen properly, and I want to watch them a lot more, much like you're curious that I said yesterday. Xabi Alonso, ladies and gentlemen, I know this was Mainz, so it's not one of your high calibrated opposition, but still, nonetheless, you get to see exactly what Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen set up, how they want to operate. Total control, lots of passes, but it's not just passes for the sake of just passing. There's a lot of intricate movements. There's a lot of tactics. The way they build up and they transition from defense to midfield to offense, and the way they attack in the offensive areas, how they slowly just bring in more people to create lots of numbers in the box or overloads on either side. It's amazing to see, and how each player, the different roles. I mean, check this out. Xabi Alonso, Bayer Leverkusen, have set the record for the longest unbeaten run across all competitions in German football history. 33 games, 0 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, this is mad. This really is mad. They just won a moment ago against Mainz, 2-1 at home. They now go 11 points ahead of Bayern Munich. For a second, I was thinking, do you know what? Xabi Alonso, is this a one-hit wonder sort of thing? But when you really deep it, he came in to Leverkusen last season when Leverkusen were like dwindling around the relegation zone, and then he took that Leverkusen to Europa League, where they're doing really well there as well. Last season as well in the Europa League, they made it to the semi-finals. And now this season, they're absolutely flying. There are certain players, some of the Chelsea fans I remember, and you'll know if you're watching this. I remember some of these Bayer Leverkusen players prior to Xabi Alonso coming in. They didn't rate some of these players that highly because they weren't doing that great. But now all of a sudden, people, they like Grimaldo. I remember Grimaldo in Benfica just before he left. Not many people rated him. Started not rate him. People like Frimpong was sort of, good to have, but nothing to be excited. Frimpong he's a serious right back, when you think about what do we want to do moving forward, with Reece James and whatnot, there is a conversation you want to have. Do we want to play 3 at the back, perhaps? Because now it seems like modern day managers in the likes of Xabi Alonso, in the likes of Amorim, in the likes of Roberto De Zerbi, all of these managers love to play the 3 at the back, genuine 3 at the back, proper wing backs that attack the living daylights out of opposition. And the fact that Xabi Alonso, there's a plethora of young players in that team, Florian Wirtz, and many more. But they're mixed in with some really good experienced players in the likes of Grimaldo, in the likes of Xhaka. Granit Xhaka scored an absolutely bombastic goal today, man. Unbelievable. So, look, ladies and gentlemen, I want to show you some of the Chelsea news. And the reason why I'm bringing in Xabi Alonso, that how sure are we with Pochettino? And I know this is probably not the greatest conversation to have just before a Carabao Cup final, fully backing the manager, fully backing the team. But we are moving. I feel like football is slowly moving into an era where all of these modern day managers, in the likes of Xabi Alonso, in the likes of Amorim, from Sporting Lisbon, in the likes of Roberto De Zerbi, if you don't snap up one of these managers soon enough, like, these managers will eventually go to big clubs and dominate over there. So I know Xabi Alonso is not linked with Chelsea Football Club. I wish he was, though. It's more likely that he's probably going to Bayern Munich or Liverpool. But if Chelsea owners finish this season off, no problems. But next season, if you are sitting down and thinking about where the squad needs to go with the plethora of young talent, do you also want a modern day manager that can potentially get the most out of all of these players? Like the stuff, the work Xabi Alonso is doing and the football he's playing is scintillating to watch, to be honest. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts in regards to Xabi Alonso is going to win the Bundesliga. And this is by no means a fluke. And he seems like he's going to absolutely romp the Bundesliga. So now you'll understand what all of that Xabi Alonso conversation that I just had based on some of these news that's been coming out. Check this out. The dynamic at Chelsea is different now. Todd Boehly has stepped back and Chelsea has built a recruitment structure. Look, we've said in recent times, ladies and gentlemen, that with Todd Boehly when he was there, right? When Todd Boehly was still acting as a chairman, he was going for those marquee players, experienced players, and there's been a distinct change since he's sort of taken a step back and Boehly kind of took over, set up this recruitment structure, and now more focus is on young players, more focus is on lower wages, finding those gems, and it's a different direction. So it's clear to see that Todd Boehly has definitely taken a step back, and Chelsea has built a recruitment structure, and it seems like they're still continuing to build that recruitment structure. Check this out. Chelsea hopes that their rivals will be afraid of them in 2 or 3 years, and this is why I was talking about the Xabi Alonso. Do we really think Pochettino is the right man that will create a team that is going to be feed in 2 to 3 years' time? And this whole thing about 2 to 3 years, we have to be careful. If we continue being this 12th, 10th, in this vicinity, I'm telling you, this whole 2 to 3 years will blow up in our face, because some of these players, talented players that we have, they'll clock that it's not worth being at Chelsea Football Club. So we have to be very, very astute in our decision-making as to what we want to do down the track. By the end of this season, we'll see where we finish. Let's see what happens in the Carabao Cup final. Hopefully we win a silverware. Hopefully we go as far as possible in the FA Cup and rectify this season from 10th. If we can come into top 6, maybe then we can look at it that, okay, maybe it's going the right way. But if we don't achieve some of the bare minimums, we do need to sit down at the end of the season and really think hard as to where this football club is going, which manager should be leading this group of players, of very talented superstars, who can get the best out of them. Because so far, I feel like what Xabi Alonso is doing at Bayer Leverkusen is quite mad. As I said, look, he may be in demand across many, many clubs out there. Real Madrid probably would be interested as well. As I said, Liverpool, Bayern Munich. But we need to have a focus as to who is the right man to lead us forward. I mean, if it's Pochettino, well, you better hope that you've got it right, or else that 2 to 3 years will blow up in your face, as I said. Chelsea are happy with Mauricio Pochettino, even though they are 10th place. There you go. Yeah, board and the owners are quite happy. It helps too that he is said to have a strong relationship with the board. If he has been tense at times, it is not because of the pressure from above. So look, interesting this news has come up. I sort of had a feeling recent times that maybe the relationship between Poch and the board is probably not that strong, because Poch really wants to keep some of these players in the likes of Gallagher, and the board really wants to sell some of these players like Gallagher and so on and so forth. So I don't even think Poch really wanted Armando Broja to leave on loan because we lack a striker. Then Poch has been saying all along he wants more experienced players, and our board on a consistent basis are always linked with youngsters. So yeah, I don't know how much that relationship is great. Maybe at a sort of personal level, maybe it's good, but from a working level, I'm pretty sure there would be some tension, because Pochettino wants to probably go one direction and the board wants to go another direction. Now, ultimately, the board will win because they'll just get someone that is more in line with their direction. Long-standing Chelsea staff members are encouraged by the changes taking place. Chelsea want to help Laurence Stewart and Paul Winstanley go from good to great. This is why we're recruiting more people under these sporting directors. Seems like we're backing the entire show. We're absolutely backing it, and we just have to see where it takes us. So far, it's not been that pretty. Let's see how the end of the season finishes. They want to improve the medical department and add more data-led scouting. This data-led scouting, look at the data-led scouting where it's kind of led us now, right? 10th. Some of the players are declining, when they really should be appreciating. So it's not just about, look, data needs to be read correctly. I feel like sometimes it gets misrepresented to in a crazy manner. So we have to interpret data properly. We have to use our eyes as well. It's not just about data. We have to also understand the character of a player, where they come from, their upbringing, who are their influences. Do you know what I mean? Like, are their parents influencing them? Are their friends influencing them? What gets them going? Data cannot look into all of these things. We have to be a lot smarter than just data. But yeah, in terms of the medical department, 100%, that needs improvement. And hopefully we see a lot more improvement, because we can't afford to have all of these injuries season in, season out. Now, check this out. I love these conversations, these comments from Malo Gusto. Malo Gusto says that Mauricio Pochettino is waking the Chelsea mentality. Look, there's quite a few players in recent times. Malo Gusto has come out and said some positive things about Pochettino. Nicholas Jackson always seems to have a lot of positive talks about Pochettino. So looks like these players, how we said earlier on, Pochettino has a way that he's a good friend, I suppose. He can get close to the players. Man management, you can say. You can also say that, okay, there are other players that he's not really man managed them well, maybe Mudryk and so on and so forth. But many players seem to really connect to him. They really appreciate the way he manages. Let's see. Hopefully this is fruitful. Malo Gusto says that Mauricio Pochettino is waking up the Chelsea mentality, which is good to see. He knows he has to wake up our mentality, to wake up our desire to win everything. We are Chelsea, and a big club like Chelsea has to win everything to keep fighting. So I love it. I love this mentality from Malo Gusto. And look, go out there and win the Carabao Cup. Go out there and absolutely win the Carabao Cup. We'll see what happens later on with financial fair play and Europe and whatnot, but very important to win this trophy. It's big for the playing squad, big for the manager, young squad as well, and it's massive for the new owners. And I love this. I want to end the video with this particular picture. Malo Gusto of our Instagram. War is coming. The man is preparing for it, for the final. Good to see, man. I love this mentality. This is how our players should be operating. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about everything we spoke about, especially in regards to the future of Chelsea Football Club. Is Pochettino the right guy for you? When you've got people like Xabi Alonso who's doing a madness, and I feel like it cannot be a fluke. It really cannot be a fluke. In one hand, I'm like, stay another season and see where you take Leverkusen, play a Champions League with them. I think that will be fantastic with Xabi Alonso. And then big clubs are still going to be available. The big jobs will still be available. But on the other hand, are we seeing a rise of another super manager? Pep Guardiola obviously is the standard. Jurgen Klopp is not that far away from Pep. Is Xabi Alonso the next batch coming through? And should Chelsea be looking to secure someone like that? So let me know, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Till next time, see ya.